Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I am so happy you are here with us today. This is the place where we talk, debate, and help you improve your English. My name is Sarah, and I will be your host. And I am Priya, Sarah's co host, and today her debate opponent. I am really excited about today's episode because this topic is something we all experience in our daily lives. Every single one of us uses social media in some way. So I think this conversation is going to be very relatable for all of you. That is so true, Priya. Today, we are going to debate one big question. Is social media good or bad for us? This is a topic that people all over the world argue about every day. Some people think social media is the best thing ever invented, and some people think it is destroying our lives. We are going to explore both sides today. I will be taking the side that social media is bad for us. I have some strong arguments ready, and I am not going to hold back. But I want to say, even though Sarah and I disagree on this topic, we are still great friends. A good debate is about ideas, not about personal feelings. Exactly. And I will be arguing that social media is actually good for us. I truly believe that social media has changed the world in many positive ways. This is going to be a fun, friendly, and very interesting discussion. Okay, Priya, shall we begin? Let's do it. I am ready, I am confident, and I have a lot to say. May the best argument win. Let the debate begin. All right, I'll start. So, in my opinion, social media is honestly one of the best things that happened to modern communication. Before social media existed, if you wanted to stay in touch with someone who lived far away, you had to write letters or make expensive phone calls. Now you can send a message, share a video, or even do a live video call completely for free. That is incredible. Okay, Sarah, I hear you, but I completely disagree. Yes, social media helps people communicate, but look at what it is doing to our mental health. Study after study shows that the more time young people spend on social media, the more anxious and depressed they feel. We are trading real happiness for likes and comments. That is not a good deal. That's a really important point, Priya. But I think the research is more complicated than that. Some studies show that social media actually helps people feel less alone, especially people who are shy or people who live in small towns and cannot find others who share their interests. I understand that, and I agree that for some people it can feel helpful, but I think that is the danger. It feels helpful, but it is actually replacing real human connection with something shallow. You can have 500 friends on Instagram and still feel completely alone at night. I see what you mean. But Priya, do you think the problem is social media, or is the problem deeper than that? Maybe people who already feel lonely are more likely to use social media a lot. It might not be the cause of loneliness. That's a good question. And honestly, it's probably both. Social media does not create loneliness from nothing, but it definitely makes it worse. It gives lonely people a place to hide instead of going out and building real relationships. Okay, let's talk more about mental health. Priya, you mentioned anxiety and depression, but I want to point out something positive. Social media has also created incredible communities for people struggling with mental health. There are support groups on Facebook, mental health awareness pages on Instagram, and thousands of people sharing their stories online. That has helped so many people feel seen and understood. Sarah, I completely take your point. And yes, those communities do exist and they do help some people. But for every one helpful mental health page, there are 10 pages promoting toxic beauty standards, impossible body images, and comparison culture. Young girls especially, they see these perfect filtered photos every day and they start to feel like they are not good enough. That is a real crisis. You are absolutely right that toxic content is a serious problem. I 100% agree with that. But should we blame the platform or the content? Priya, newspapers used to publish articles that made women feel bad about their bodies too. We did not ban newspapers. That's true. But newspapers were not designed with an algorithm that learns exactly what makes you feel insecure and then shows you more of it. Social media platforms study your behavior and feed you content that keeps you engaged, even if that content is harmful. That is a completely different level of manipulation. Okay, that is a strong argument. I have to admit, The algorithm issue is something I am genuinely concerned about too. That is one area where I think social media companies need to do much better.
Finally, we agree on something. The algorithm is the real villain here.
Yes, maybe the algorithm is bad, but social media itself is not. The technology is neutral. It's the people who control it who make the decisions.
I think that is a little too easy an answer, but okay, let's move on.
All right, let me talk about something I feel very strongly about: education. Social media has completely changed how people learn. On YouTube, you can learn to cook, learn a language, learn to code, learn to play guitar, all for free. On Twitter, scientists share their research directly with the public. On TikTok, teachers are making short, fun videos that millions of students love. This is a revolution in education. Okay, Sarah, I love that you mentioned education because I actually agree that educational content on social media is wonderful. But, and this is a big but, social media also spreads misinformation faster than any other tool in history. During the COVID pandemic, false information about vaccines spread on Facebook and WhatsApp and caused real harm to real people. People died because of misinformation on social media. You cannot ignore that. No, you absolutely cannot ignore that. Misinformation is a genuine and serious problem. But again, is that social media's fault or is that a human problem? People have always believed wrong things and spread rumors. Social media just makes it faster. Speed matters, Sarah. If a false rumor spreads to 10 people in a village, that is manageable. If the same false rumor spreads to 10 million people in 1 hour, that is a catastrophe. The scale that social media provides is what makes it so dangerous. So your argument is that social media makes everything bigger, both the good and the bad? Exactly. And I think the bad is currently winning. The harmful content spreads much faster than the good content. Studies show that false news travels 6 times faster on Twitter than true news. 6 times! That is terrifying. That statistic is genuinely shocking. I did not know that. But I think the solution is media literacy, teaching people how to identify fake news, not shutting down social media. I agree that media literacy is important, but we have been talking about it for years, and the problem is getting worse, not better. At some point, we have to accept that the platform itself needs to change. Let me change direction a little and talk about something very practical: business and creativity. Social media has completely changed who can succeed in business. 20 years ago, if you wanted to sell a product, you needed a big budget for television ads or newspaper ads. Now, a young woman in a small town can start a business, build an Instagram page, and reach 1 million customers all by herself with just a phone. That is genuinely empowering. And I love that story, Sarah. It is a beautiful story. But for every one person who builds a successful business on social media, there are thousands who waste hours every day trying to grow their followers and making no money. Social media has created a culture where everyone thinks they can be an influencer, and most people cannot. It gives false hope. Priya, that sounds a little harsh. People should be free to try. And creativity is the key point here. Social media has given artists, musicians, writers, and designers a platform to share their work directly with the world. Without social media, many talented people would never have been discovered. That is true. I love that social media has given a platform to independent artists, but I worry about what it is doing to the quality of art. When artists are creating content just to get likes and views, not because they are inspired, the art becomes shallow. Everything becomes short, quick, easy to consume. Where is the depth? Where is the meaning? I think deep and meaningful content does exist on social media. You just have to look for it. Long documentaries on YouTube, thoughtful essays on Medium, beautiful photography on Instagram. It is all there. It exists, yes, but it is buried under mountains of pointless content. 15-second videos of people dancing, meaningless challenges, drama between influencers. That is what most people are actually watching. Okay, you made me laugh with that. But Priya, people have always enjoyed light entertainment. That is just human nature. Light entertainment is fine, but when it takes up 5 hours of your day, that is not entertainment anymore. That is addiction. Okay, so today we talked about mental health, education, and creativity. I truly believe social media is a wonderful tool that connects people and creates amazing opportunities. When I moved to a new city, I was very lonely, and social media helped me find friends and feel happy again.
That is why I will always believe in the good side of social media.
And I respect that, Sarah. But I have seen the bad side too. My younger sister became very sad and anxious because of Instagram, and it was really painful for our family. Social media can be very harmful, especially for young people. So please, everyone, use it carefully and use it wisely. I think we both agree on one thing: balance is the key. Social media is not fully good and not fully bad. It all depends on how you use it every single day. Exactly. And before we go, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Tell us, are you Team Sarah or Team Priya? See you in the next one. Bye, everyone.